Viewers, we're live from the CNN News 18 Primetime studio presented by Schneider Electric Smart Home Solutions. Viewers, if evidence were ever needed that there was a fifth column at work in Bharat to undermine the national interest, it dropped in spadefuls today. As the Delhi High Court extended the shackles on alleged Bharat breakers, Delhi Riots accused and one-time JNU perpetual student Umar Khalid and 4 others, the India bloc ecosystem had a meltdown. They lashed out at the judiciary, yes, the same judiciary that they were, viewers, complimenting just the other day for releasing alleged urban Maoists and 2006 Mumbai train blast accused. Sample the super selective and hypocritical reactions from the usual suspects. The Delhi High Court, viewers, let's go to these reactions. Delhi High Court denies bail to Umar Khalid and 6 others after 5 years of incarceration where nothing has even moved. In the case, grossest travesty of justice, we have to fight in the Supreme Court now, unquote. Viewers, this is Digvijay Singh. Another one, viewers, comes out and said, it speaks volumes of the state of judiciary in India today. Viewers, they are casting aspersions left, right and center. May God give us strength to protect our democratic Republic of India, our Constitution of India. We shall continue to fight for justice, unquote. So Digvijay Singh, viewers, Congress MP, a few weeks ago, the same Digvijay Singh was very, very delighted because certain accused in the Mumbai blast case had been let off. He was thrilled, saying the judiciary deserves a medal. Because all of them turned out to be, of course, Muslim individuals. So he was delighted. He was very, very happy. And here, viewers, it's completely the other way. Same judiciary. Now let's go across to another reaction, viewers. Priyanka Chaturvedi. She says, quote, this is absolute travesty of justice. I have strong disagreements with their activism, but keeping them behind bars for 5 years without bail is a pathetic reflection of the rot in our judicial system, which everyone knows of but doesn't speak about, unquote. This is Priyanka Chaturvedi, viewers, Sena UBT Member of Parliament. There's also, of course, Mahua Moitra, who came out and she was also extremely upset. She says HC denies bail to Umar Khalid and 6 others after 5 years of incarceration where nothing has even moved in the case. Grossest travesty of justice, we have to fight in the Supreme Court now. 3 people, viewers. What this ecosystem, or what the BJP call enablers of separatism won't tell you, is that the Delhi High Court concluded that Team Umar Khalid were playing ducks and drakes with the judges. I'm not making this up, viewers. This is what the Delhi High Court ruling says in black and white. It says, and I quote, the arguments on charge are being delayed by the accused persons who are out on bail at the cost of those accused persons who are in prison. To ask for bail after there has been a systematic delay in trial on the part of the accused is not acceptable, unquote. So, viewers, these chaps obviously know that they have such a weak case. They didn't even want to push for bail. And this fact, viewers, was confirmed by ex-Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud himself, who claimed, and I quote, and this is a slightly long explanation that he is given. He says, I do not want to comment on the merits of the case, but I must tell you one thing which is lost sight of by a lot of people when it comes to Umar Khalid's case. Can you imagine that the case was adjourned? That there were at least 7, if not more, adjournments, which were sought by the counsel appearing for Umar Khalid, and eventually the application for bail was withdrawn. Can then a segment of the bar or civil society say, or they must be at least told, that look at the record. Here was a case where someone appearing for the accused has repeatedly short time before the court. Why this reluctance to argue a case, unquote? Because viewers, they know that the evidence stacks up against them. Better get bail. Let's pull this out, delay it. Let this not quickly come to a point where there can be a judgment. So let's keep going back and adjourning it, because the moment that happens, viewers, there's no question of bail, there'll be conviction. Viewers, the hard facts tell us that there exists a dangerous nexus of political patronage, selective outrage, in defense of a subtle propagation of, quote, a Jinnah mindset, unquote, that many people today are calling out. And this mindset undermines India's cohesion, viewers. This prompts some serious questions. Why did Umar Khalid's lawyers, seeking multiple adjournments, and why did they withdraw his bail application? Why the reluctance to argue the case, viewers? Where was the ecosystem's concern for justice when Sadhvi Pragya, Colonel Purohit were rotting in jail for years altogether? Then they weren't saying, well, you see, bail is the norm, jail is the exception. No, then they said, lock them up, throw the keys. Umar Khalid allegedly chanted, quote, Bharat tere tukre tukre, unquote, viewers, in JNU. Does the ecosystem support for Khalid embolden Jinnah mindset? Fundamental question, viewers. Somebody is saying today that absolute travesty of justice. I have strong disagreements with their activism. But keeping them behind bars for 5 years without bail is a pathetic reflection of the rot in our judicial system. Because I don't want to pass judgment on the merits of the matter either. But if the courts are looking at this with a microscope and they have come out with a reasoned argument, then surely, viewers, by supporting this ecosystem, this team of separatists, the message that is going out will embolden others who are waiting in line. Because we are seeing this repeatedly. There is a chap called Jarange who landed up in Mumbai. He brought Mumbai to a complete halt. The court said, excuse us, you can't be doing all of this. And this entire lobby then jumps on the court and says, you are smothering the right to dissent. Viewers, when we are blurring the lines between dissent and subversion, it's a big problem. I want to open this up and let's have an honest conversation. Mature one tonight, though I doubt very much with the facts that I have presented, one could have a mature conversation, viewers, because somebody will try to digress. And they will not want to argue the point. They will argue the man. They will not play the ball. Anyhow, Sanjay Jha, let's start with you, because it's very important that we don't let our emotions get the better of us, and therefore I'm starting with you. Now, I just, can you put this in perspective for me? A man who says that liberty matters, an ecosystem who says liberty matters the most. Why did he adjourn bail applications 8 times? Why did he string this matter out? Was he getting something in jail that he was addicted to? Why would he do it? If liberty matters so much, if you're so innocent, why do you want to hang back in jail? Surely the food isn't the best there. The company, even worse. So why would you do that?
Okay, Rahul, good evening to you and to my fellow panelists on the program. First and foremost, since you mentioned Jinnah mindset, I would like to tell the viewers of your program that Muhammad Ali Jinnah's grandson has funded both the Janasangh and the BJP very liberally. And in fact, probably even at the time of the inception of the Bharatiya Janata Party as a political party. So the hypocrisy, the mendacity, and the absolute brazen manipulation of facts that the BJP does, ladies and gentlemen, in front of you. Guess who's funded? I repeat it again in case you didn't hear me. Guess who funded the Janasangh and the BJP at different times? Muhammad Ali Jinnah's grandson. Now let me answer your question, Rahul. You have made a strong case already, so you have taken a position. Now there are 2 points that I need to explain, and it's going to take me just 30 seconds. and then you can invite the others to speak for 10 minutes each. Number one, you did not answer this question, Rahul. Why has it taken 5 years for the trial not to commence? You picked up the point that there were occasions where Umar Khalid's counsel, which happened to be even eminent people like Mr. Kapil Sibal, who, by the way, publicly stated, again, you did not mention that, changed circumstances. I leave you, the viewers, to interpret that. I'm not the legal counsel for Umar Khalid. But if Mr. Kapil Sibal said there were changed circumstances, it's for the people to kind of go down and extrapolate or research and come to their own conclusions. But the larger point that the people of India should know, because tomorrow, if you're watching this program, ladies and gentlemen, if this government puts you in jail under some harsh law, you'll be there for years without a trial, without a charge sheet, and no one in the world can come and save you. This is the message from the Modi government. So I want to ask this one question of Poonawalla and Dr. Ranganathan, who belong to the same category. Why hasn't the trial started for 5 years? Where is the evidence?
Mr.
And I'll tell you why this is ridiculous. One minute, let me finish.
No, hang on.
If it is a riots case, 1 minute, if it's a riots case, where I have read the entire prosecution's case, they talk about WhatsApp groups, they talk about some speech he made in Amravati. I've gone through it with a fine tooth comb, Rahul. I have not found anything which says that he was inciting people to violence.
Are you the judge, the jury, and the executioner all rolled into one? And I took great offense, Sanjay Jha, at the first charge you made against the BJP, saying that Jinnah's grandson funded the Jana Sangh. So,
yeah, and the BJP.
So hang on, is Jinnah's grandson an Indian?
Sorry?
Is Jinnah's grandson...
Why don't you find out for yourself?
I'm asking you, is Jinnah's grandson an Indian?
Why don't you go and research it?
Is he an Indian? Is his name Nusli Wadia?
Why don't you?
Is he a businessman who has... No. Is he a businessman who has established a business in this country, or has he done it in Pakistan? Are we saying, viewers, that Muslims who have stayed back in India
shocking
are all Jinnah mindset people?
Amazing.
What a statement to make.
You are not able to answer my
What
question.
a statement to make, viewers.
Just
Indian Muslims,
Facts hurt.
therefore, viewers, Indian Muslims, therefore, cannot be taken at face value because they all are Jinnah's grandsons by extension.
shocking.
Can you believe it, viewers? What do Muslims have to do in this country
try,
to give
Rahul.
Sanjay Jha a certificate?
Let me come in.
Let on facts.
Let me begin with this. Yes, let me now
But he
first,
didn't answer the main one, viewers. And let me tell you, the charge sheet has been filed. Okay.
Yeah.
These people want to
Where is
also
the trial?
dictate the pace.
Now,
Yes.
Mr.
Where
Sanjay
is the
Jha had said
trial?
that I will speak for
Yes, where
30
is the
seconds,
trial?
although he spoke for 5 minutes, and he said that he will let others speak, so I hope he'll keep his word. Let's address the first point. By the way, people who come here and speak in uninformed terms don't know that Jinnah actually had rejected his daughter because she had married a Parsi. Jinnah was that kind of a hypocrite. He himself married a Parsi, but when his daughter wanted to marry a Parsi, which was the Wadia family, he disowned her, and therefore this part of the family, which has been disowned, it's like saying that I am responsible for Tehseen's actions. We don't have any relationship. Similarly, Pandavs and Kauravas are not responsible for each other's actions. Similarly, Nusli Wadia. By the way, there is an airline called Go Airline, which is owned by the family, which got the licenses during the Congress regime. So maybe Congress has opened Jinnah's grandson's airlines? And Mr. Sanjay Jha travels in that airline.
It's so shocking.
So anyways, I don't want to descend to the depths of stupidity where Sanjay Jha can enjoy being alone. That's where he is reduced to, because the Congress party has suspended him in logic and in position.
Just one question. A Muslim who has stayed back in India,
But
has he accepted the two-nation theory or rejected it?
Anyways, Wadias are not
But
Muslims.
you have stayed back.
Yeah, exactly.
You've
We
stayed
rejected it, therefore we stayed back in India, and Wadias are Parsis. So it doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. This is just a distraction, because here are the hard facts that we need to deal with. Rahul, let me come on the issue. The High Court has denied Umar, Sharjeel and the rest of this brigade bail. Are they saying they don't trust the High Court? Uddhav Sena is saying this. TMC is saying this. Point number one. So after Election Commission, you don't trust the courts. But you don't trust the courts when? You don't trust the courts courts when they deny bail to Umar Khalid, the same Umar Khalid who bats for Burhan Wani, who bats for Afzal Guru, but you trust the courts when there's electoral bond verdict. You trust the courts when there is Chandigarh verdict. So this is their selective approach. Secondly, every time there is a case where the entire Delhi riots comes to the focus that this was not organic but organized, not spontaneous but sponsored anti-Hindu riots, whether it's Tahir Hussein's role, whether it's Sharjeel Imam's role, his statements that he's made, or whether it is the statements of Umar Khalid and the role that he has played, there is a whitewashing done because you do not want to talk about the way the Hindus were targeted in this anti-Hindu riot. Thirdly, when courts have convicted Afzal and Yaqub, at that time also they have doubted the judiciary. Didn't they say, Afzal, hum sharminda hai, tere qatil zinda hai? Did Mr. Aslam Khan, who is a minister in the Uddhav Sena government, yes, they have said that Yaqub was hung because he was a Muslim and they wrote petitions for him. Now finally, and because I believe Sanjay Jha is a man of principle, this Umar Khalid is in jail for 5 years, right? Mr. Purohit was in jail for 8 years, 9 months without bail. And finally, he was acquitted by the courts. And by the way, Sadhvi Pragya was also. Guess who called Sadhvi Pragya terrorist before even charge sheet was filed? Shriman Rahul Gandhi. Now, Sanjay Jha, if he's for the principle, he must show me one tweet of Congress that Mr. Purohit has not got bail for 8 years, 9 months. And he must show me one condemnation by Sanjay Jha that calling somebody a terrorist before conviction. Sanjay Jha, bata do.
Yeah, Shehzad, my simple answer to your question is that at this point of time, there is a man in jail for 5 years without a trial. That was not the problem in the earlier cases.
Purohit!
The investigation. 1 minute, there was a trial on.
No, there was no trial on.
To defend themselves. 1 minute.
Do you know how many people are in jail without trial right now?
Let me finish. Yeah, and find out which religious community is in a majority population.
Oh, come on, Sanjay
taking
Jha,
the brunt
please.
as under
God's
trials.
sakes,
Look at the
for
data.
God's sakes,
Look at the
please.
data.
You know, this
Look at the
constant
data.
victim card that is played, viewers.
Look at
Then
the
they'll
hard
say
data.
more
Rahul
Muslims are
Shishan,
arrested
don't
in this
run away from
country
facts.
because they are Muslims.
So
Yes,
is the judiciary
there is
keeping
no-
Umar Khalid in
there-
jail because he's Muslim?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
And secondly, Mr.
This is what he's saying. This is what they're all saying.
And
This
by
is what
the
they're
way,
saying. No, hang on.
just one
This is
line,
what they're
just
saying.
one line. Rahul,
Grossest.
just one line. He said that they are without trial. Trial क्या सरकार करवाती है क्या? Our job is to file the charge sheet. Our job is to file the application. If the application is done, the court doesn't want to do the trial. What can I or Anand Ranganathan or Rahul Shivshankar
This
do?
is a member of parliament, viewers. It speaks volumes of the state of judiciary in India today. May God give us strength to protect our democratic republic of India, our constitution of India. We shall fight to continue for justice. Viewers, this is what they're saying.
Have they said
Pathetic
that about
reflection of the
Purohit?
rot in our judicial. No, there are 4 lakh under trials. There are also 75,000 people who have been denied bail and are languishing without trial, Dr. Ranganathan. No one has talked about these people. No one talked about Colonel Purohit, as I pointed out, or Sadhvi Pragya, or several others.
Because they're Hindus.
And when certain people got relief, the 2006 Malegaon gang and everyone cheered, the court said, wow. Urban Naxals got, that Baba fellow who came out, everyone. Dr. Ranganathan, yeah.
Yeah, good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Before I come to the thrust of the topic, I just want to express my absolute dismay at the casual bigotry and anti-Muslim comments being made by Mr. Sanjay Jha. Mr. Wadia remains a patriot, a bona fide Indian, and if he contributes to any political party, he does so under the rules and regulations of this country. He is having a bona fide business that gives employment to tens of thousands of people that have been supported by multiple governments cutting across party lines. And to say that a grandson is a bit like a grandfather, by that logic, Rahul Gandhi would be a Nazi because his grandfather was a Nazi who fought alongside Mussolini's army inside it. Is that the logic we are professing and propounding in 21st century? I'm agog and ashamed, to be honest. Now, the judges have denied bail to Umar Khalid, Rahul, not because of his faith, but because of theirs. And their faith is justice. To those claiming Umar was denied bail or that his trial has been delayed for 5 years because he's Muslim, Would they also argue that Colonel Purohit was denied bail for 8 years and faced a trial delay of 10 years because he is Hindu? Number one, 3 points, very quickly. I speak as a free speech absolutist, Rahul, and you know it. I have stood for the free speech rights of some of the most despicable and evil characters one could find. But this entire issue is not a free speech issue at all. Giving a hate speech is one thing, and by the way, I include hate speech in free speech. But planning and orchestrating a communal riot, being in the front line of the mob, carrying sticks in their hand, inciting a mob, pushing the police barricades violently, being culpable of unlawful assembly and rioting, this is no longer a free speech issue. I'm sorry. These are serious charges concerning not a purported hate speech, but rather incitement and planning a riot. Number two, yes, bail, they say, should be the rule and jail the exception. But let's talk common sense out here. Not every under trial gets a bail. There are rules for granting bail. Flight risk, threat to the nation, destroying evidence, coercing witnesses. These and many other aspects are deliberated in detail by the courts before bail is granted. And in this case, why should there be an overriding of this process? Especially when A, the former Chief Justice is on record saying the defense was deliberately delaying the hearing and pleading adjournments, and B, the bail has been heard and deliberated by the courts a dozen times. 3,000-page charge sheet, 30,000 page of electronic evidence, and 133-page order, following which they have denied bail. By the way, 71% of all prisoners in India are under trials, rotting in jail without bail. Umar Khalid hasn't been singled out, just that you care more about him than a million others. Number three, and this is important, Rahul, 30 seconds. Omar Khalid is the symptom of a disease that is inflicting this nation. A stinging indictment of our education system, where those who should be studying and making something of their lives indulge in hate politics because it rewards them more than education does. It wasn't the speech of Kapil Mishra or Varis Pathan or Harsh Bandar that was responsible for the Delhi riots that killed both Hindus and Muslims, but rather the actions of people like Tahir Hussain. And the charges against Khalid are for conspiring with Hussain based on call records, meetings, plannings, and Hussein's own confession. Khalid is a journey that began with his eulogizing the terrorist Burhan Wani, making out the terrorist killing as judicial murder. From there to Shaheen Bagh and then to Delhi riots, Rahul, is a lesson for all youngsters. Hate pays, but only for the shepherds. The lambs proceed to the slaughterhouse, and all along the way they bleed. Hatred for Modi transmogrified for Umar Khalid into hatred for a plural, non-appeasing India. And that is why he is paying for his sins.
You know, Dr. Ranganathan, since Sanjay Jha brought up the subject of parents and grandparents, and that sort of somehow spills over and tarnishes the reputation and the image of their children, etc. Could you tell our audience, Dr. Ranganathan, what Umar Khalid's father had to say about various things in this country, including Simi, etc., etc. If you could just illuminate, because by that logic, Umar Khalid should never come out of jail. If his father stands for these values, viewers, and that's why I use this term, Jinnah, not me, the BJP and its ecosystem have used it. I put it in quotes, therefore, and I brought it into this debate. Can you tell us a little bit about his father?
Well, he was a part of Simi, if I am not mistaken.
That's right.
And the fact of the
who
matter-
banned the Simi?
The Supreme Court.
Yes.
At whose
and-
instance?
But more important than who banned the Simi,
Exactly.
is who fought for unbanning the Simi.
Yes. Oh, that's true. First they banned it. First they pushed for its ban. Then they suddenly discovered that, oh, all Muslims are innocent, you see. So then they went to the courts to want it to be unbanned. Because this is the drama that is being played out here. He talks about Muhammad Ali Jinnah's grandson and children, etc., who contribute to the Jansang coffers, as if that sort of indicts them, their genetic heritage, etc., etc. Then by that, viewers, complete with that. No, rejoinder. You've said what you've said.
Right.
Now you can come in and...
Did L.K. Advani not call Mr. Jinnah secular? A two-nation theory, the bifurcation of India.
Sir, you want to
L.K. Advani called
pull.
Jinnah secular.
Where did Mr. L.K. Advani
L.K.
end up?
Advani
Where did he
called
end up
Jinnah
after that?
secular.
He was told to take quick retirement.
Yes, he was.
You see, he was told to do that. Now, whether he was told through a loudspeaker or he was gently nudged, and that's a different matter. I mean, come on.
BJP is in power today because of L.K. Advani, even today.
Ah, right.
Right? And he went and said that Jinnah was secular.
L.K. Advani was on the ticket in 2009 and couldn't get into power.
let me address this issue, because the problem is Sanjay Jha does not have the answer to one question that Anand and I posed to him, that have you ever spoken up for Mr. Purohit? So forget that he's bringing up all this. Let me answer the Advani question. When Advani ji said about Jinnah, at that very time he was forced to resign from the presidency of the party.
Yeah.
Umar Khalid is batting for Kashmir to be separated, and Sharjeel Imam said cut the chicken neck, and Sanjay Jha is advocating for them.
No, Rahul
and
Gandhi,
he's lecturing
Rahul
us.
Gandhi has stood next to Umar
We are
Khalid
talking
in
about the
JNU
process of
and
law.
held his hand up. In fact,
No,
We are
Sanjay,
talking
you are not
about
talking about
process
process
of
of law.
law.
If you were, you would talk about Purohit. You would
We are
talk about
talking
the
about the criminal
71% people
jurisprudence in this
that
country.
Mr. Anand Ranganathan was speaking about.
Sanjay
You are
Jha, in
speaking
any
about
case-
a vote bank.
in any
Shehzad, we are
case,
talking about
to
criminal
allege
jurisprudence in this
that
country.
Muslims trades
very
their
sad.
ideological. I mean,
I'll
I'm
tell
sorry. If you know, I mean, I couldn't even believe what I heard today. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
Yeah.
let me just. I mean, if I had said something like that, viewers, by now there would have been a couple of clowns on Twitter who fact-check people. They would have taken me over the coals. The Congress party
No,
would
there
have
would
come
have
out
been
and they would have moved the Editors Guild and stuff like that, viewers.
Rahul,
Yes,
there would
Doctor.
have been an FIR against you.
FIR.
There are, by the way,
There would have
Rahul,
been an
you have
FIR
said
anyhow.
many
Professor
things-
Mandol. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We
you
all
have
mess
said
up
many
sometimes.
things in today's program.
We all mess
that
up sometimes.
Absolutely bizarre.
We all mess up sometimes. It's okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Your
I
prejudice
found
is
it.
so apparent.
I corrected the impression, viewers, so that we all know that Muslims who stayed back in this country did so out of their love for India and because they rejected the two-nation theory. Now, Professor Mondol, let me bring you in on this. I want to ask you a very simple question, a question that no one is answering. If Umar Khalid is so convinced of his own innocence, why did he adjourn bail hearings, not once but 8 times? Why did he not show the urgency to fight for his own bail, number one? And number two, why is this selectively being raised? Sadhvi Pragya, Colonel Purohit, you know, they spent time in jail 8-9 years each. One was sick in jail to the point she lost her ability to walk. No one talked about her rights. Why, sir?
Well, really, I don't have the access to the facts of the case. But on the face of it, it appears that if you are having this kind of indignant smile after 20 minutes of coming to me, then don't call me, please. So you have to listen to what I'm saying.
I never said anything.
On the face of it, it appears that if such young people are in jail without trial, it should be addressed. We have got nothing to do with the kind of politics that Mr. Khalid and the likes of him play in the campuses. But similarly,
No,
the
hang
same
on.
kind
Your
of hate
colleague,
speech,
your colleague, member
same
of
kind of
parliament.
hate speech
No, let me
is-
ask you. You very much have. You very much have an opinion on this matter. Mahua Moitra has an opinion. She said
I have-
Delhi HC denies
I
bail to
opinion,
Umar
but
Khalid and
you're not
6
allowing
others
me to
after 5
speak.
years of incarceration, where nothing has even moved in the case. Nothing
I
has
said
moved.
the
She
same
says.
thing.
Grossest
I
charity
said
of
the same
justice.
thing.
We have to fight in Supreme Court now.
I
Explain
said the
this.
same thing. As a human being, fundamentally, it looks to be flawed. When someone like Arnab Goswami, for him, the court wakes up at the midnight and he gets bail after 7-8 days in jail. And these people are in jail for 5 years, including all those 4 lakhs under trial. I'm not just speaking about Umar Khalid and others. All those 4 lakh under trial.
So why
without
don't you
a trial
speak
for
about
jail,
them?
Should be.
No,
should
why
be
don't you speak about them?
bail.
Where do you
I'm
move?
speaking-
Where
I'm
are the
speaking of
PILs?
the-
Where
I'm
are the
speaking of
PILs
the-
from your activists?
I'm-
No,
please-
hang on. Where are the PILs from your?
But you hang on. You
Where are
hang
your
on. Don't
PILs
cut
from
on
your
my voice.
journalists? No, hang
You
on.
hang
I'm
on.
asking you.
This-
Where
the
are
kind
your
of-
PILs from your journalist, activists, turned politician MPs? Why aren't they lining up outside the Supreme Court? Where is their conscience?
Then we should all on a lighter note file PIL against you because you call us and don't allow us to speak. You suppress our voices every other day, like my friend Sanjay was talking about. What are you talking about? Have some sense debate.
I told you,
don't
yes.
allow me to complete a single
They'll start
sentence.
playing. They'll
I
start
said
playing
no
the
debate.
man and not the issue. It'll come
Go on. I
soon.
can
They will
only
start
laugh at-
attacking Dr.
laugh at your
Ranganathan and
plight.
everybody else.
I
And
can
Rahul
laugh at
Shiv
your
Shankar,
plight and
here is a
nothing else
data
because
for
you don't
you.
want to
Your
hear
viewers
us.
should know.
I can
Over
laugh at your
30% of detainees in Indian prisons are Muslims, double that share of population. Do you have the courage to bat for Muslims in this?
Now,
group of
viewers,
yours?
we are
You come
going to
every
link
day
crime
and
to
malign
population.
Muslims.
Oh my
You
God!
come every day
I
and
mean,
malign Muslims on
thank
your program.
goodness, sir. Thank
Will
goodness
you
you're
look
not
at
in the
this data?
Statistician
No, 1 minute.
Commission of India.
30% of detainees in India are Muslims.
So
You-
we
you
should now
understand
say,
what that
okay,
means?
hang on. Now
You
we
know
should
what
go
that
around.
means?
So we should have
You
quotas
know
in
what
jail
that
now,
means?
viewers. We should
Or
have
are you going to
quotas.
sit in a fancy
We should say,
studio
okay, only
wearing a suit and
20%
tie and giving a
OBCs
lecture?
and 30, no, hang on, only 20% OBCs or 25 or 26, 7% OBCs
this
and only
glaring?
13%
this
STs. We
glaring?
should all constantly have a bell curve. And if there are general
you can see the
category
bias
prisoners,
against
then there
Muslims.
should be only 5%.
You can see the institutional bias against Muslims from the police
ridiculous,
down to the
viewers.
levels of lower judiciary.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
It is not
This is the
ridiculous. You are
logic.
scared
This
to
is the
face
logic.
the truth.
Okay.
I have exposed you on your program
Okay,
now.
sir. Yeah, you can carry the flag for Muslims
Data,
after.
data, my dear friend, data.
Indians
Data
have
doesn't lie,
dramatic
Rahul.
kind
Data
of
doesn't lie.
fake news.
Quick
Just
one.
one line.
Quick one. Dr.
And
Ranganathan and Shehzad Kunal
yeah,
want to
it's
come in
fake
that
news.
order.
This is fake
Says
news.
the man-
According
says
to
the
the
man who
National
said
Crime
that India had
Research
gone into
Bureau,
Karachi.
Muslims made up 15% of convicted prisoners. Muslims
अरे
constituted
भैया मैं क्या
18%
बोलता हूँ
of
जरा
under
सुना भी
trial
करो
prisoners.
भाई.
Now, please,
Doctor
एक second.
Saheb,
Yeah, please. You've
I was
been
talking
outed
about the
multiple
under
times. Please don't
trials,
interrupt.
not
Please
convicted.
don't interrupt.
Wake
No,
up.
no, no. You can spread fake news once, but once you're outed,
This is
please
not
don't
fake news.
repeatedly spread fake
Hello,
news.
this is not fake news.
He
And
was
the
saying
BJP
30.
is the peddler of fake news. Get that clear.
Rahul, can I continue, please?
Yeah, of
I've
course.
quoted
It's
you
bizarre
all
logic,
over
viewers,
the
in any
place.
case. It's so
First of
bizarre
all, the
that
logic is so bizarre because people are incarcerated or cases against them based
Logic will
on
be
the
bizarre because
percentage
you
of
want to
people
listen to
who
the truth.
Monojit, इनके पास कोई जवाब ही नहीं
No, no, I'll
है.
tell you, viewers, by this logic, but look at this ridiculous, silly logic. By this logic,
wrong.
viewers,
The data is false.
by this logic, no,
Why
Hamid,
are you engaged in
one
this
second,
kind
one
of
second.
dramatic
Yes, very
self-flagellation?
quickly. Yeah.
My simple question in the entire debate is that Sanjay Jha, if you stand for the principle, Mr. Mandal, Mr. Mandal, can you please not interrupt? I did not interrupt you. I never spoke one word between you. Can I speak my piece, Rahul? It's an important point, only 20 seconds.
The point is
Yeah,
the
20 seconds.
selectiveness
Yes,
of their
I'm coming to that.
activism.
I am making my point, but I need silence so that others can hear the point. Look, first of all is that if you are about the principle, can you please show one tweet apart from Umar Khalid that you've done, say, for a Purohit? No. Secondly, because this Jinnah and Wadia and other point has become so big, Sharad Pawar is seen with Nes Wadia. By the way, you know, Nusli Wadia was on the board of Tatas
nothing wrong with
and
that.
Sharad Pawar and Nusli Wadia were very close. So now I ask Sanjay Jha, that is Sharad Pawar a traitor to the cause?
Boss, I have given interviews.
Boss,
to
forget.
Bombay Times.
And I
That's
don't
not
want
the
to go
problem.
into. I don't want to
That's
go
not
into
the problem.
any other corporate groups
I'm just
which
trying
were
to
close to the
expose
Wadias.
BJP
You know
hypocrisy.
which one I'm talking about. It
I'm
has the name
talking about
Hindustan in
BJP
it. So let
hypocrisy.
me not open my mouth. Mr. Sanjay Jha, it is better
Arre bhaiya,
that
I
you
was
do not make
starting
me
my
open
career
my
with
mouth
Bombay
and
Times.
open up all your secrets on this panel.
Arre baap re,
Okay, I'll leave it at this, viewers, because you
Don't miss
see,
the words for the
fundamentally,
critics.
you see the direction in which this debate is going. Soon they will say that there should be quotas for prisoners linked to Abadi. This is where this will go, viewers. Let me tell you. Rahul Gandhi will be agitating. Say that you can't put Lalu Yadav in jail because you see it's exceeded the quota by 10% or 3% or 1% or 0.1%. This is what they'll be saying, viewers. Anyhow, let's move on because this is absolutely bizarre. The point is, viewers, the selectiveness. And I want to continue that thread. The Modi government has done what it should have done, let me tell you, 6 years ago. We've been arguing for this. Anyway, better late than never. It has decided to tweak the CA rules to allow Hindus persecuted in Bangladesh as we speak to cross the border without fearing deportation or persecution to seek refuge in India. It's very, very important. The CA reset, what's new, doesn't guarantee citizenship but secures the right to stay on in India. There are conditions that apply that states and union territories can detain illegals until deportation. So those conditions apply. What's new? Reassurance to persecuted minorities. The condition is that orders, mandates biometric data collection of all foreigners, so there will be biometric assessment, etc., etc. Then viewers, if minorities, these are non-Muslim minorities who entered India on or before 31st December 2024 are eligible. So everyone who has fled before that in the last 7-8 months can come in, viewers. There are, of course, restrictions on employment in critical sectors of the economy. All eyes in government are finally on Dhaka, Islamabad. Now, viewers, finally. But sadly, not those of certain opposition parties. This is what is happening, viewers. Once again, you have people like the TMC coming out and saying BJP is only trying to create confusion. This has all been timed to sway voters ahead of upcoming elections. BJP has hailed the decision. He says the opposition, of course, only wants to sort of appease Muslims, etc., etc. But all of this leads us to ask some basic questions. Does this CA extension prove BJP has once again established that it is better than any other party in guaranteeing the welfare of Hindus? Let me quickly open this up and bring in Dr. Ranganathan first. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of this? I know you have very strong views on this issue.
No, this is a very welcome step. And if you would know this, in fact, for years I've been saying that the amnesty part of the CAA should be extended or removed altogether or completed before the NRC. So anyway, that's subsidiary to the fact. I think I really applaud this decision. It's a great decision. If you were to look at what was happening previous to this decision, only 14 Hindu Bangladeshis were given citizenship before this step. So I hope the floodgates literally open, because India needs to open the floodgates. In fact, India needs an Israel-like right of return for Hindus, judging by the awful way in which they are being persecuted. And I just want to answer this, that has BJP shown itself to be more pro-Hindu than the others? Well, the jury is out. I applaud this decision. But the fact remains that it was the Congress and, in fact, the CPIM in 2012 and 2015 who passed a resolution that all Bangladeshi minorities, now Bangladeshi minorities cannot be Muslims, right? All Bangladeshi minorities must be given de facto Indian citizenship. It is another matter that when Modi brought in the CAA, like farm laws, they took a U-turn. So, in fact, it was the Congress resolution of 2015 and 2012 CPIM that demanded Bangladeshi minorities being given citizenship. So, I applaud this step, and I think India must go further and have a right of return for Hindus.
Professor Monojit Mondol, I'm just asking you, by opposing the CA tweak like your party is the ecosystem proving that it's a selective champion of human rights, sir? Also,
first of all, this order comes under the Foreigner and Immigration Act, not exactly Citizenship Amendment Act. The second of all, if BJP is so concerned about the rights of Hindus, why still 12 lakhs Hindus are suffering in the detention camp of Assam? Why not they going to get the citizenship? Why this out of 65 lakhs who stand to lose their voting rights in Bihar, how many of them are Hindus, and why this is happening? This is BJP's plain and simple hypocrisy. On the other hand, 40,000 Rohingyas are there in BJP ruled states, maximum number in this country. How many of them have been deported? Only 4. Only 4. We want a white paper from BJP as to how many Rohingyas from this country have been deported. According to the affidavit of the Supreme Court, 40,000 are still staying in Jammu and Kashmir. So this is complete hypocrisy on the part of BJP. Yes, they do this kind of hypocrisy, hullabaloo, just before the election, because they have election in Assam and Bengal, and they are going to get their bidding in Bengal and possibly in Assam as well, because they are, in fact, very interestingly, Mr. Rahul Shivshankar, I do not hear a whisper about SIR in Assam. Whereas they are talking about SI in Bengal and Bihar, they have already done. No whisper about Assam. This is again a pathetic idea of justice on the part of Election Commission as well, which is playing in the hands of BJP. Everyone in this country can understand. Okay. I repeat the question again. If they are concerned about the Hindus, first give the citizenship to 12 lakh Hindus. All of them are Indian citizens. Okay. They were here before 1971.
Mr. Poonawala is questioning your intent and the timing.
I have to take lectures from a party that opposes Jai Shri Ram, says Ram Mandir is actually an ornament, mocks the Ram Mandir, makes fun of Ma Kali, and that person is lecturing me about state of Hindus. That is the same party which was in 2005 saying that the illegal Bangladeshi should be kicked out and was throwing the papers at Somnath Chatterjee. Rahul, I did not interrupt anybody. I did not interrupt anybody. In 2005, the party which was throwing papers at Somnath Chatterjee was the same party which said that if there is a any kind of exercise to remove these illegals, there will be civil war and bloodbath, quote unquote. This is the party which does not allow BSF to do the job of guarding the borders and resists in giving the land and does not allow the fencing. This is a party which goes and gives the rights of voting and other cards to the illegal Rohingyas. This is a party which gives patronage to Saida Amir, who says that the illegal Bangladeshis are Shanti Doot, and at the same time when we are getting the patronage or the safety for the Hindus of Bangladesh, of Afghanistan and of Pakistan, they are the ones who oppose it. Rahul, you can see how I am being interrupted. I am still keeping my patience and my calm, and I will make my point completely.
Now Rahul interrupted you, he never opened his mouth. Let him just finish.
Rahul, if this move is, I will answer it, but you cannot dictate to me.
Interrupting you, so listen to
I will make my point. I will make it in my terms. This is not Talibani mindset and culture debate. This is not this is not your party office. This is a studio.
I let you speak, sir, for 3 minutes.
I know.
I let you speak for 3 minutes.
I know this is your party office.
Sir, I let you speak for 3 minutes.
There is another way to do this. We can all have one point we can say, and then the other person can answer. My entire flow has been destroyed, and none of the audience members will understand what I'm saying. Now let me complete my 2 parts that I have to say. Mahatma Gandhi in 1947 said that the minorities of these countries should be given safe passage if they require it. Manmohan Singh in 2003 had asked for it. 2 years the UP had actually implemented a version of the CAA law where they had allowed the Hindus of Pakistan to come. 2011 report of Pranab Mukherjee spoke exclusively of citizenship to the minorities of Bangladesh. Then we have had the situation where Prakash Karat in 2012, the 2015 Assam Congress, 2018 Rajasthan Congress manifesto batted for the same. Today it becomes communal. Now secondly, as far as the Rohingyas are concerned, sir, we have declared Rohingyas national security threat, and when we were removing them, Prashant Bhushan from your ecosystem has filed a petition. Now you tell me, do you consider Rohingyas national security threat? Do you consider Rohingyas national security threat? Mr. Mandal, can you for once answer a question and stop your damn patronizing, arrogant and irritating diatribe? Can you stop your irritating diatribe and tell us why the Chief Minister of Bengal attacks the BSF when it does its job of identifying the infiltrators and says that the infiltrators cannot be removed? Can you for a change answer a question rather than sounding like a man who's unhinged? This man only wants to interrupt.
Okay,
he doesn't want me to speak.
Just 1 second. Now, lower everyone's
No, this is not the way.
Let me
Rahul, I will
quickly bring in.
my 2 specific
Yeah,
points
you make your 2 points. I'll get Sanjay Jha to respond to you. Yes.
You know, it's like Dumb and Dumber to get to respond either of them. But anyways,
no, let's not
I have not spoken any names.
Yeah.
They can decide between whom Dumb and Dumber. Anyway, having said that, I will only ask
no
one.
personal jibes. Yes.
No, stating a fact is not personal.
No, please, let's not.
Anyway,
let's not do that. Let's not do that. Please. Let's not do that. Yes.
Okay, I withdraw the dumb jibe. The dumber jibe can be accepted by him. Now, let me just say one question. The Rohingyas have been declared as a national security threat, but Sam Pitroda says that Bangladeshi आ गए अवैध रूप से आने दो. Then you have Ghuspetia ko cylinder do.
Okay.
Sanjay Jha, say Rohingya internal security threat or not?
Okay, so let me come in there. Sanjay Jha, this is an important point. For Rohingyas, the Congress says open the borders. For please, Professor, please. For Rohingyas, you have one standard. For the minorities, the non-Muslim minorities, you have a completely different standard. Sanjay Jha, can you explain this difference?
I will.
Please.
Rahul, but before I do that,
Yeah.
you're the anchor of this program.
Yes, sir.
You have allowed a BJP spokesperson to make a cheap
I didn't
jibe
allow. I
at
said
both-
it's wrong.
He made a cheap opening jibe about the Jinnah issue.
I said it's
Did
wrong.
he not
Okay,
make a cheap
now-
opening
now
jibe
my
at my
next
party?
point.
What do you want me
My
to do?
next
Get up and
point.
give him a box on his
Yeah,
face?
no.
I mean, come
Now
on.
my next point. My next point.
Stop
Here
playing
is
a
the
victim
point.
card.
Have you
Can
seen
you
the size
imagine
of
how
his?
the
Have you seen the size
BJP
of his forearms? What do you expect
Can
me
you
to do? Pick him up and throw him out?
Rahul, don't try and be funny, man.
I'm
Don't
not
try
being
and be
funny. I'm saying. I said.
People who
Please
watch
don't
this
go there. Don't
program
make
know
it
what you're
personal.
up to.
I mean, I've said don't make it personal. What else do you want me to do?
Mr. Jha, make a point for a change.
Because I
Answer
think
the
you
question.
very quietly endorse it. Anyway,
I don't
I'll
endorse
answer your
anything, sir.
question.
I'm asking you a simple question.
Yeah.
Please answer me. You know, there
Yeah.
is a separate point of view you have on Rohingyas and a very separate one you have on Hindus
Well,
and non-Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, you have indulged in fake news on Rohingyas, etc.
Yes.
But I will make the bigger point. Today, the BJP's polarizing politics has made any individual who speaks Bengali. Today, a person from West Bengal or Bihar who speaks Bengali is being targeted as a Bangladeshi across different
Okay.
parts of India. Can you imagine the divide and rule being done by the
Okay,
BJP?
okay, look.
You have an answer to that?
The people,
Can anybody answer
viewers
that?
do not want
Can
to come
anybody
out
answer
and
that?
answer on the point. They want to deflect us. Anyhow, we've
What do you
seen what
mean?
is happening.
That is
We've
the
seen what
politics
is
that
happening.
is being played.
Listen, that is a tendentious argument because the person who you are accusing came out and said, and you are accusing the police, not a BJP member. Please, so make a distinction. I need to move on because viewers, there's been a very important story. I'm shutting all of this down. There's been an important story that we need to focus on, viewers. And it has happened very close to where we were just a few days ago, where I was reporting from Beijing. China has unveiled, viewers, a range of new weapons, drones, and other military hardware in a massive parade that many see as a clear message to the United States and its allies. The event saw Xi Jinping, the president of China, host more than 20 foreign heads of state, including Russia's Vladimir Putin, North Korea's Kim Jong-un, both of whom rely on China for economic support and more. It was a display of Xi's growing power on the world stage and of China's military prowess. The show included the Guam killer missile and, quote, the loyal wingman, unquote, drone, and even robotic wolves. Now, viewers, the missiles and all of them are on your screens. And let me just quickly run you through what there was. Weapons on display, the triad of nuclear-ready capabilities, long-range missiles, the Jingle-1 submarine-launched intercontinental missile, the Julang-3 land-based intercontinental missiles, the Dongfeng 61 and Dongfeng 31 and DF-61 and DF-31, China's strategic ace power to safeguard the country's sovereignty and dignity. This has all been reported by Xinhua. Viewers, the fact is, there are several variants of these weapon systems, and all of them have been put, laser weapon technology, drones, etc., etc. I mean, they're underwater drones, drones that can fly in the air, all sorts of things. But beyond the hype and shiny new weaponry, what did we actually learn? How potent is China's new arsenal? How well can China deploy its weapons? Is China focusing on missiles more to counter its enemies, especially the United States? Why did China lean so heavily to project its AI and drone munitions? Let's speak with Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell, former fighter pilot of the Royal Air Force, who joins us, and military analyst with Sky News. Air Marshal, thank you very much for speaking to us. Let's go question by question. First of all, how potent is China's new arsenal? What do we make of it? I know that some weaponry that was used a few months ago in a theater of action between India and Pakistan didn't do so well. How do we know all of this is top of the line and is effective?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Raoul. You make an important point. Many countries, Russia and China particularly, love to showcase their weapons. It's a display of military prowess. But military equipment doesn't necessarily mean military capability. The Chinese haven't had active service. There's a lot of bluster, and we've seen that Russia had very, very big military parades, but couldn't actually be decisive on the battlefields. And if you look back 20 years, China was doing a lot of copies of Western kit. What we're seeing now is just a demonstration of how far China has advanced. But most military capability you do not want to showcase. You want to keep it hidden so that your enemy just isn't quite sure what you have available. So I think there are two audiences for this parade, Raoul, if I may. One of them is a domestic Chinese audience. This was a parade marking the 80th anniversary of the end of the war with Japan, one in which Russia didn't fare so well. And now this is demonstrating that Russia is now a military superpower. But there was also a message here clearly for the international community, particularly when you look at Xi Jinping, as you said, with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un, and also President Putin. That was a very clear message to the West.
I need to ask you this, Air Marshal Bell. You suggested that some of this equipment looks more forbidding than it might actually be because it hasn't been tested. But surely, I'm tested in a theater of war, but surely they must have tested all these weapons in some place before they inducted them. Is that good enough?
If it's credible testing, Raoul, yeah, then yes. But I think there's a couple of things here. One of which is that we've seen Russian fighter jets at air shows doing some amazing maneuvers, Cobras maneuvers, very, very maneuverable, and make it look like they have very, very dangerous state-of-the-art aircraft. But a military aircraft is not about its maneuverability. That's what used to happen 40 or 50 years ago. These days, it's about your radar, it's about your missile technology, your defensive aid suites, all of the electronics, and they are something in which it's a completely different order of capability. Now, China, I have no doubt, wants to demonstrate that it is now a global superpower. But for the time being, there's a lot of questions about just how capable some of this equipment is. But the bottom line is there's no doubt that China is making rapid advances. It's investing a lot of money in its military capability. And in terms of quantity, it is now a competitor with America on the global stage.
How well can China deploy its weapons? It's one thing having all of this, but deployment is important. So how do we assess that?
That's a really difficult one to assess because as we look to the West, particularly America, the UK, France, have had regular operational deployments with their military capability. In other words, they've used it on operations. And it doesn't matter how well you plan, it always goes wrong. There's always something you need to do and be flexible in operations. Russia seemed to have very good military capability. It should have been able to walk all over Ukraine. Frankly, Ukraine was a second order military power compared to Russia. Yet Russia wasn't able to bring this military advantage to bear on the battlefields, mainly because they don't have command and control. It's their people. They don't trust their people. All the decisions have to go all the way back up to the top to President Putin. And therefore, it just makes the whole battlefield stultify. It just freezes it. Whereas the West, Ukraine, very much more flexible. Now, China has a similar sort of command and control. It doesn't allow free thinking. It does, therefore, the commanders all look up to their next in line to see what they're allowed to do. That means it takes a long time to get decisions, and on the battlefield it's all about pace, it's all about innovation, it's all about rapidity of making decisions, and therefore that's something that China hasn't been tested on just yet.
Is China focusing on missiles more to counter its enemies, especially the United States? What do you get a sense of when you see these pictures?
I think you make a really good point here, Raoul, because one of the things that China has been investing in is its maritime power. It's invested in its submarines and its ships. But there is little doubt that the American fleet of aircraft carriers and carrier strike capability is still state of the art. But if you can threaten those carriers with missiles, all of a sudden you negate their power and they become a very, very expensive but vulnerable piece of equipment. Now, they're incredibly well protected, but all of us, as soon as you start to use these sorts of missiles, particularly hypersonic missiles, very difficult to shoot down, that will start getting America more worried. And it's not just America, the UK operates a fairly expensive carrier capability. All of a sudden, if these missiles meet their specification, if they can do what they are claimed to be able to do, that causes a lot of rethinking in the West about how we use carriers and maritime power.
Why do you think China leans so heavily to project its AI and drone munitions today? What is this new thing that they were trying to tell us?
I'm less convinced about the drones, I must admit. There is a view that because drones have had their day in Ukraine, that somehow they will now dominate the battlefields of the future. I think we have to be a bit careful there. The Ukraine war is a David versus Goliath battle. Ukraine is a fraction of the size, and therefore Ukraine has had to find innovative ways to fight Russia, because if it got dragged into a force versus force battle, the danger is that's something it would lose. If you look at what happened between Israel and Iran, That wasn't so much drones, that was more conventional air power and missile capabilities. So I think we've got to be quite careful about that. But I do think the one area of defence which will see a revolution is the use of AI. How far can artificial intelligence replace the commanders, replace the decision making? Because one of the things the West has always prided itself about is keeping a very high tempo of operations. If you can use artificial intelligence and use it effectively, potentially you could get much faster. And I think that's an area where China, with all its technological advantages, will be focusing its military effort.
If you were to give China a number out of 10, where on capabilities, what is that number that you'd put?
Well, unfortunately, Raoul, I am not an intelligence officer. So what we're having to do at the moment is look at it from what we're seeing. Yeah. In terms of sometimes, certainly in the West, in the UK, we don't have many assets. We have a very high-tech fast jet fleet, but we've only got less than 10 squadrons, fewer than 10 squadrons. If I was to analyse China's quantity, then I would start to give it 9 or 10 out of 10. Because quantity at times has a quality all of its own. You can smother defences. But in terms of the technological advantage, the ability to use these in wartime battle, the ability to convert high-tech equipment into decisive military capability, right, I'm afraid the jury's still out.
I leave it at that. What an enriching conversation, Air Vice Marshal Sean Bell. Thank you very much for speaking to us. He's a former fighter pilot of the Royal Air Force and a military analyst with Sky News. Thank you very much. Viewers, thank you for watching this show, this program, which was brought to you by Schneider Electric Smart Home Solutions. Stay with us.
Presented by This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
There is a big relief that is expected after this GST Council meeting that concludes tomorrow, especially for taxpayers. This is what we've learned from our sources in the government that have revealed that a major slash is expected as far as health insurance premiums are concerned. That's something that could go down. The GST on that could go down. This is something, remember, CNN News 18 had reported a couple of days earlier as well, that that's a sector that the government is looking at as far as giving relief is concerned. Senior citizens too could get a relief in that particular sector as far as health and life insurance premiums go. Insurance are also, that's something that is on cards that we're given to understand. The consensus building, of course, will have to be done during this meeting, which is currently underway. It's going on until tomorrow evening, after which we will know what these reforms are, which the government proposed, and what kind of support or backlash came into the fore for it. Pallavi, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details on this. Pallavi, what else have you gathered from your sources?
See, the focus of this GST meeting and the two tire slab is very clearly to make it pro-consumer or pro-people, and of course also benefit the ancillary industries. We've been reporting on the fact that there are now going to be only two slabs, that is 0 to 5%. Some items possibly will not even invite any GST rate. So there's a 0 to 5% slab, and the other one is that of 12%, which can be imposed. Of course, there is also something which is called the sin tax, but that is on deep luxury items.